Welcome to the April 14th, 2026 County Board of Commissioners meeting. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just let everyone know this is a public meeting and it's also being sent out virtually and recorded. If anyone has anything for the to speak to today, public comments, those will be heard before the business items, and we ask that you hold that to 3 minutes. At this time, we're going to have an award presentation, and the timing's perfect. So Heather, can you please come up and we'll get this going. Thank you.
Hi. Mr. Primus, can you come forward, please? Heather has a letter she'd like.
Why? Hi, I'm Heather Smith and my husband Eric Smith. And I'd like to start off by honoring Dan, and I wrote a letter. Dear Dan, we would like to take the opportunity to offer a small token of appreciation for your selflessness acts. A year ago, on April 4th, after a Pendleton High School baseball game, our family was involved in a devastating head-on collision caused by a driver attempting to pass a semi in a no passing zone. That night changed our lives forever. I was life flighted to Portland, where I was treated for a fractured sternum, a traumatic brain injury, vision loss, and multiple strokes. My husband Eric and our son Elijah were thankfully spared with minor injuries and have since made full recoveries. In the midst of chaos, confusion, and fear, when I remember smelling the airbags and dust in the air and voices all around, you stepped in without hesitation. You gave our son your job and a safe place to sit. You took it upon yourself to transport our beloved dogs, Kita and Monster, to the vet when we couldn't. Though they did not survive, your compassion that moment meant everything to us. You also gave CPR to a young boy in the other vehicle, though he later succumbed to his injuries. Your willingness to act so quickly and selfishly speaks to the kind of person you are. What you did that night for our family and for a stranger's child will never be forgotten. Your kindness, courage, and humanity carried us through one of the darkest moments. Words will never be enough to fully express our gratitude, but please know we are forever thankful with the deepest appreciation. You just got your slow.
Thank you.
Fun stuff. Yeah.
Great.
eyeball sweat, just saying.
Not just the award to Dan, I think is extremely special, especially coming from down from there. But I'd like to give a round of applause to Heather and for doing Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
What an honor.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. My wife's.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Stick around, Dan.
Silver netting?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's tough to follow that. In fact, it's impossible, but if there's any other recognitions or correspondence from the commissioners?
I don't have any.
The only thing I want to do is recognize, this week is Telecommunicators Week across the nation. I just want to give a shout out to our 911 dispatchers for this special week.
Well said. Approval of the minutes from the previous, approval of the minutes from March 18th and April 1st. What are the wishes?
Move approval.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 At this time, I'd like to move, with your approval, item number 5 to item number 1. And that is the reclass of, Dan, do you want to, real quick? Thank you. I don't know how you come back after that.
Yeah.
So we're looking to the reclass. We had applied for January, February, Jen, for the additional DDA position within the office. At that time, we were at a point where it was believed we were going to be full with the potential for a new hire in August, and didn't want to give up an opportunity to be able to hire. At that point in time, there's been some significant changes in the loss of a couple of attorneys within the office, causing us to have a few vacancies. In addition to that, the additional cases that have come over from the city of Hermiston has added an additional caseload to our office. I think we got some 300 to 400 cases in February, just in addition to what we normally would receive otherwise on a yearly basis. With those vacancies, trying to figure out and get creative in ways in which we can try to limit the workload and or the caseload or the case management of those for our attorneys. And one of the things that we're looking at doing is kind of trying to add some legal staff. The more staff that we have in the office takes a burden and or a load off. It becomes discovery, working on different the basics to motions and stuff like that for us to be able to assist that workload. And so we're looking to reclass one of the DDA positions that we have. As hard as that is to walk up here and say, as I'm short-staffed, to give up one of the positions that I have currently, it makes sense to us to be able to reclass that to an investigator's role over in the Hermiston office to take workload off of some of the attorneys that we have over there. So that's the request that we're making, is to a reclass from a DDA to an investigator position specific to the Hermiston office, and then and the reason behind it is just the workload.
I would add that we have discussed this, and I'm fully supportive of that. In fact, with that, I would move to approve the downgrade and reclassification of one budgeted deputy district attorney position to an investigator position assigned to the Hermiston office. This role will ease the pressure on the legal team by taking over discovery, management, witness coordination, and preliminary investigative work, allowing the remaining DDAs to focus exclusively on court.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item is a public hearing, and it is I'd like to, at this time, Tuesday, April 14th, ladies and gentlemen, I call this land use hearing before the Umatilla County Board of Commissioners. My name is Dan Dorn. I'm the chair of the Umatilla County Board of Commissioners. Our role today is to conduct a public hearing concerning the appraisal for a proposal amendment up to the 1972 Umatilla County zoning ordinance, section 3.03, conditional uses in the F1 zone. I will begin the hearing by asking staff to summarize the application. I will then ask the applicant to testify, followed by those in favor of the application. Then any person in opposition or who have questions or concerns will also have a chance to speak. If there is an opposition or question, staff may respond to them. The commissioners also may ask staff and witness questions throughout the hearing until the record closes. Any person with an interest in today's agenda may offer relevant and/or written testimony, but please only speak when I identify you for that purpose. When you testify, please begin by clearly stating your name and address. If you represent someone else, please say so. If you have any exhibits you want to consider, such as a copy of your testimony, photographs, petitions, or other documents or physical evidence, please provide it to me or the staff, and it will be marked as part of the record. Right now, I call for any abstentions, bias, conflict of interest declarations of ex parte, and objections to jurisdiction. Any called and uncalled? At this time, the agenda defines the applicable substantive criteria for evaluating the request. Staff will review these criteria. All testimony and evidence must be directed toward these criteria. Failure to raise an issue with sufficient detail to afford the decision-making body and the parties an opportunity to respond to the issue preclude an appeal to the Land Use Board of Appeals based on that issue. At this time, I'll call for staff review or staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Doran. I'm Charlotte Hotchkiss, Planner 1. I'm going to keep my staff report brief as we, I believe, have the applicant's consultant, Rebecca Wallstrom with Apex Companies, LLC online, and she's available to answer any questions you guys might have. The Hermiston Cemetery District land use request consists of the following 3 land use requests. The first, which we're deciding on today, is the text amendment to the county's 1972 zoning code section 3.03 conditional uses to add cemetery to the list of conditional uses permitted in the F1 exclusive farm zone, 19-acre minimum parcel size. 2, a conditional use permit request to allow a cemetery use on the F1 zone properties in order to expand the existing cemetery. The conditional use permit would apply to properties identified as MAP 4N 2814 CD, tax lot 100, MAP 4N 2114 CD, tax lot 200, MAP 4N 2814D, tax lot 400, and MAP 4N 2814 DV, tax lots 200 and 201. And 3, a type 1 land division subdivision request to subdivide map 4N 2814D tax lot 400 into a total of 2,549 graves for the cemetery expansion. A proposed amendment to the 1972 Umatilla County zoning ordinance in the F1 zone is subject to policies in the Umatilla County Comprehensive Plan, City of Hermiston Comprehensive Plan, City of Hermiston Transportation System Plan, Umatilla County Transportation System Plan, and the applicable Oregon statewide planning goals. The proposed amendment would add cemetery to the list of conditional uses permitted in the 1972 F1 zone. This conditional use would be subject to section 7.010 through 7.040 in the 1972 Umatilla County zoning ordinance and permitted upon the issuance of a zoning permit to finalize the conditional use request. Approval of the text amendment and conditional use permit would also allow the Hermiston Cemetery District to subdivide that tax lot 400 map 4N 2814D into cemetery plots with a total of 2,549 graves. The other tax lots involved in the conditional use request are not being subdivided at this time and will remain as unplatted open space until a land division application is submitted. The Hermiston Cemetery District property is less than a half-mile south of Hermiston city limits on the west side of Highway 395. South down Highway 395, you make a right-hand turn opposite of Port Drive onto the Hermiston Cemetery Access Road. The applicant's properties and the surrounding properties are located within the City of Hermiston urban growth boundary. The existing cemetery located on map 4N 2814 CD tax lot 100 is a pre-existing non-conforming use. Developed in 1973 when the Hermiston Cemetery District was originally formed and incorporated on June 8, 1973. The cemetery has been operating in this location and serving the communities of Hermiston and the surrounding areas for 53 years. This request is the first request the Hermiston Cemetery District has made for expansion in the more than 50 years that they've been operating. The applicant shares the cemetery district now has a need for more land to accommodate the population. The applicant states that the proposed platting will allow for further expansion in the future, should it be necessary. The Hermiston Cemetery District already owns the surrounding properties involved in the request. Notice of the applicant's request was mailed on February 20th, 2026 to nearby property owners and necessary agencies. Notice of the March 12th, 2026 Planning Commission hearing and the April 14th, 2026 Board of Commissioner hearing was published in the East Oregonian on February 25th, 2026. A proposed amendment to the 1972 Umatilla County zoning ordinance in the F1 EFU zone is subject to policies in the Umatilla County Comprehensive Plan, Transportation System Plan, and the applicable Oregon statewide planning goals. The subject properties zoned F1 are within the City of Hermiston's UGB and are therefore subject to the policies of the City of Hermiston and Umatilla County Joint Management Agreement, as well as the City of Hermiston's Comprehensive Plan and Transportation System Plan. The proposed amendment is also subject to Umatilla County Development Code Sections 152.750 through 152.755. A public hearing before the Umatilla County Planning Commission was held March 12th, 2026. The Planning Commission voted 6-0 to approve both the conditional use request and the subdivision request and recommended approval of the Hermiston Cemetery text amendment number T-102-25 to the Board of Commissioners. Based on the foregoing findings of fact and conclusions of law, adoption of the proposed text amendment is a precedent condition of approval for both the conditional use request and subdivision request approved by the Umatilla County Planning Commission at the March 12th, 2026 public hearing. The Board of County Commissioners must decide whether or not to adopt the proposed text amendment to allow cemeteries in the F1 zone. The Board of County Commissioners may agree with the Planning Commission's recommendation or make new findings based on evidence in the record. Sorry that I left that part in, actually. I got a little tongue-tied. But that concludes the staff report. Unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Charlie. At this time, I'm going to call for proponents of the land use. Anybody here wants to speak in favor? Sure.
Yeah.
Come on up to give us your name and address.
Good morning, Chair Doran and Board of Commissioners. My name is Lori Spencer. I live at 575 West Moore Avenue in Hermiston, Oregon.
Thank you.
I'm a board member of the Cemetery District.
Good morning. I'm Ken Huber, and I live at 685 West Hermiston Avenue in Hermiston, and I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, guys. You have anything to add to
Just
the?
asking that you please adopt the text amendment so
Yeah,
we can
yeah.
expand our cemetery.
That's one thing that comes with growth is the expansion of cemetery. As sad as that can be at times, but it's neat that Hermiston had the foresight to get this property in place to be able to handle this. So, any other questions?
I just wanted to comment, before this even came before us, we took a little drive. I have relatives in the Hermiston Cemetery. And so we took a cruise through there. And your cemetery is very well maintained.
Thank you.
It's in a great area. And one of the things that we did talk about rolling through there is my husband sits on the cemetery board for Mountain Freewater. And rolling through there is that the opportunity to expand. And then it wasn't a day or two later that this came in front of us. So that really worked out well. But it's very nicely maintained. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
I agree. That's all.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks. Thank you guys very much for coming over too. At this time, I'll call for opponents. Any other comments from the commissioners? Public agencies?
I didn't receive any comments from public agencies that were of note, other than just them saying, Richard Lonnie from ODOT said they were good with it, and Kara Van Fossen from Hermiston Irrigation District said that they were good with it.
Perfect. The ODOT's on board with something. This time, any need for continuance? So now I'll close the public hearing, deliberation and discussions. Any comments from commissioners?
I move approval.
Second.
So I should move approval of ordinance number 2026-02, sir.
Okay. Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you again for coming over, you guys, and taking the time.
Thank you for all the work on this.
Thank
You guys did a great job.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. You made it easy. You gave a good application.
Next on the agenda is the Hermiston Ordinance co-adoption. I saw, go ahead, Bryce. Times for the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Doran. Good morning, my name is Bryce Fairchild, Planner 2 here at Umatilla
Yeah,
County.
hold on just a second. I need to open up the public hearing again. Once again, we'll go into a public hearing. Same rules that apply to the prior one. Go ahead, Bryce.
On January 26, 2026, Hermiston City Council adopted Ordinance 2378, amending the comprehensive plan map from urbanizable to urban, for approximately 19.5 acres located directly south of the Umatilla County Fairgrounds at 1835 East Airport Road. The City Council also adopted Ordinance 2379, annexing said property effective upon co-adoption of Ordinance 2378. The City of Hermiston Joint Management Agreement, Section E10, requires comprehensive plan amendments applicable in the urban growth area to be processed by the city. The JMA requires amendments to be adopted by ordinance, first by the city, then to the county for co-adoption review. The Hermiston City Council held a public hearing on January 14th, 2026, and approved the plan map amendment and subsequently adopted ordinances 2378 and 2379. The Umatilla County Planning Commission held the county's first evidentiary hearing for co-adoption on March 26, 2026 at the Justice Center Media Room in Pendleton, Oregon. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the comprehensive plan map amendment for co-adoption with a vote of 6-0. The Umatilla County Board of Commissioners' decision is final unless appealed to the Land Use Board of Appeals. Following co-adoption of the City of Hermiston ordinances, the subject property will be annexed into the city.
Thank you, Bryce. At this time, I'll call for proponents of this. I did.
Good morning, Clint Spencer, 180 Northeast 2nd Street, representing the city of Hermiston. We are, as a city, looking at expansion of RV park development in that area to service EOTech in the future. And to bring this 19.5 acres into the city to receive water and sewer services, it is necessary to amend the comprehensive plan map from its current urbanizable designation to urban. We are asking that you accept your Planning Commission's recommendation and adopt that map amendment. Sorry, lost my train of thought. And then upon co-adoption of that, we will begin the bidding process for development of an RV park on the southern third of the site. The remaining two-thirds will be used for future fairgrounds expansion.
Thank you, Clint. Any comments from the commissioners?
I'm looking forward to it. That'll be a great addition.
Great.
Thanks. Clint. Other proponents? Call for opponents. Any opponents? Call for comments from public agencies. Bryce, any?
None were received.
No? Okay. ODOT didn't even jump in on that one? Perfect. Any requests for continuance? Anyone? No? No requests? At this time, I'm going to close the hearing. And what are the wishes on ordinance?
I move to approve ordinance number 2026-03.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you. Thanks, Clint. Thanks for coming over.
Thank you for your good work too on this.
Bryce, nice job. That your first one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nice
Yeah,
job.
very nice.
Yeah, we got the 8.
They even served cheesecake at the hearing.
You're going to make me come to those hearings yet, aren't you?
I wasn't there. I had to go to a ODOT meeting. I was sad.
Next is Charlie on the Transportation Advisory Committee edition.
Hi guys, it's me again. The Umatilla County Transportation Advisory Committee currently has 3 vacant positions that we would like to fill. Tristan Martinez, Chief Operating Officer for Umatilla County Housing Authority, has applied to serve on the UCTAC for a 4-year term. If approved, her term would begin April 14th, 2026 and end April 14th, 2030. This appointment is now before the Board of Commissioners for consideration.
What are the wishes, Commissioner?
I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-015.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Charlie, are you, who's doing Megan,
She thought she'd take one too.
the chief of the A team.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Dobchowski, Planning Division Manager. The Planning Division has one vacancy remaining on our Planning Commission. We have met with Mr. Tyson Raymond, who applied for that position, and we are asking that he be appointed to our Planning Commission with a term effective immediately and ending December 30th, 2029.
Move to adopt order BCC 2026-017.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nice job, Megan.
Thank you.
Nice recruiting. Tell Sam, great job.
Thank you, Commissioner.
So the next item is the Wallowa County Cadastral Services IGA. Mackenzie.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mackenzie Bowie, GIS Supervisor. Umatilla County GIS is entering into an agreement with Wallowa County for Umatilla County GIS to provide all cadastral and cartographic services. Our requested action is to approve the intergovernment agreement with Wallowa County to provide cartographic services and cadastral maintenance.
Perfect. Any questions, comments? All those or is there a motion?
I move to approve IGA with Wallowa County to provide cartographic services and cadastral, is that how you said that? Maintenance.
Second.
Been a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you, Commissioners.
Don't go anywhere, Mackenzie. Next is the GIS admin IGA.
He's rolling through it pretty quick.
Oh, yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right, Umatilla County GIS is entering into agreement with Wallowa County Assessment Taxation for Umatilla County GIS to provide all GIS administrative outside of cartographic services and cadastral maintenance. Our requested action is to approve intergovernment agreement with Wallowa County to provide geographic information services administration.
I move approval.
I second. I do have one question though. Do they not have these services?
No.
Or, okay.
Their services are currently being provided by the state and by Anderson Perry.
Okay. So did they reach out to you then
Yes.
and ask? Okay.
Mackenzie, I think this is a great initiative on you guys' part, especially knowing that it's going to be wrapped up fairly quickly. But I hope that that there's all the opportunity in the world to continue helping them now and into the future, even though this one will be wrapped up fairly quickly. Thanks.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you. Nice job.
We didn't vote.
Oh. Been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
It
you.
was such a good thing we didn't even need to vote. Brian.
Step right up to the Tom Fellows podium.
Might have to name it that someday.
Morning, Commissioners. I'm here to,
Address.
3920 Westgate, Pendleton,
You had it
Oregon.
all along.
Yeah. I think the first one you guys have on here is for the corrugated, the culvert pipe. We're requesting for the approval purchase of the corrugated culvert pipe from Eastern Oregon Rental and Sales for $18,571.25. It is just our replacement pipe for replacing the outdated culvert pipe and the rusted ones and the ones that need to be replaced.
And that was a cheap bid, right? We
We got 3 bids, 3 coats from the pipe, one from Eastern Oregon, one from Arrow, and one from TV Pipe and Supply. And it was the lesser of the 3.
Okay. I move approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks on that one, Brian. That's always nice to see local.
Yes.
Next is the bridge.
Yep, next is the bridge timbers, approval to purchase the materials from Voorhees Wood and Manufactured Products in the amount of $27,496.80. There's only one supplier that we have found that is in the state of Oregon or able to get it here. And so, but it's the bridge decking and everything we need to do general maintenance on our structures.
Just a quick comment, if anybody read the Sunday Tri-City Herald, there's actually not just those type of timbers, but matting timbers and a lot of rough cut timber shortage right now, especially on the west coast. I'm sorry,
Well, Voorhees has been in business we've been buying from them for as long as I can remember, but they're the last company in Oregon and they have no website. You have to call them. It's, the company seems to be ran, as I would say, old school. And, even if you ask them, they're the last people to actually be able to supply almost all the counties in Oregon and stuff with this type of lumber.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even
That's
the
interesting.
Yes.
BQH transmission line is held up right now because they can't get matting to move equipment around.
It is amazing. You would think there'd be more for that, but it's just nobody making that.
Sure.
Anyway, all those in favor, or motion?
I move approval.
Second.
And a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Last one is approval for payment to Far West Steel for $6,085.41. It is the H pile that we'll be putting on top of for the Cows Creek Bridge.
This is caps or H pump?
This is H pile.
Okay.
So this is what sits on top
Yep.
of the bridge will actually sit on top of that.
And they're the only supplier also.
Yes, because H pile is different than like I-beam steel or anything like that. It's the same dimension in the H. It's formed in an H, so it looks just like an H. In most I-beam, the center web is actually thinner, and then it's not as thick in the bends of the top and bottom of the beam. H pile is dimensional, and so it is the same thickness all the way around. That's why it's called H pile, and it is actually a little bit hard to come by also.
Really? Okay.
Nobody uses it.
Well, I think
No,
that's
and it's spec to the bridge to sit on. That's what we have to use, so.
okay. So I move approval for payment to Far West Steel for $6,085.41.
Been a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. The next is the Oregon Department of Human Services. ODA.
Nick Warner standing in for Kim Beck on this one for approval of payable for DD in the amount of $44,018 for an environment modification.
This is all direct payment, right? I mean, flow through.
I believe so.
Should be, isn't it?
Okay. Do you want me to?
Well, it's your department.
Oh,
but
it
you
is my
want to.
department, you're right. All right, I move to request authorization of an initial deposit of $6,602.70 to Suite Additions and approval of the subsequent payment of the remaining $37,415.30, contingent upon project completion and verified sign-off by all required parties.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is the surveyor purchase.
And this is
Surveyor?
We're gonna buy a survey, we've been trying to do that.
Since I got here too.
Nick again standing in. This is for, I believe, 100 survey markers. There's 3 quotes there down below. I think it's the lowest bid between the 3.
I move approval to purchase and payment to Portland Manufacturing for survey monuments in the amount of $5,500.
I second. I just want to comment. I think this is so interesting from, when we had the class as a commissioner, an incoming commissioner. And I even read up on a few of these today or earlier this morning. And I find this fascinating, actually. Fascinating work.
It's a deal.
It is. Second.
Important work. There's been a motion and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next item is invoice for $20,000 for USPS.
Pick a direction. Any direction will do.
I'm thinking
You're a thinker.
Trying to. Good morning, Commissioners. Steve Cragen, Administrative Services. In front of you is a request for approval for payable to the United States Postal Service in the amount of $20,000 to replenish our outgoing postage account.
How long will that last?
It should last this May, definitely November, and hopefully take into account possible recall elections and mailing in June that we might have, depending on which way the state and the federal government's going to go with notifications, but that's foreseen. But it will definitely cover the May and November elections this year.
Thanks.
Yep.
Okay, I move for approval of the attached payable to the U.S. Postal Service in the amount of $20,000.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Next is writer elections.
Writer elections, and this is asking for approval to a writer election services in the amount of $26,134.17. Two invoices on that, one for the election coding, $4,341.25, and the other one is for the ballot printing for the May election, $21,792.92.
Just trying to do the math on this, and I don't have solid numbers, but did the price go up?
No. We were told by Ryder for this year, they were not expecting any budget increases on their end for paper.
Okay.
But I can take a look at the past.
There must be fewer going out or something.
Well, we've got 51,000 that Ryder is printing up and sending out. 51,416, but since this is a May election, there is multiple ballot styles. We've got a permanent limited for those individuals that use for Republican and Democrat for the federal offices. Then we have the three primary ballot styles, Republican, Democrat, non-affiliate for the county.
Okay.
I had a question, but I answered it all by myself.
Okay. I move approval of the attached payable to Writer Election Services LLC in the amount of $26,134.17.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, Steve.
And the last one, the fun one. This is the summary for the Property Value Appeal Board for the 2025-26 tax season. And I would like to start off first by recognizing and thanking some individuals who helped with the process of either sitting on the PVAP board or giving counsel. PVAP board, starting off with Commissioner Timmons, and then Christina Wallace and Meg Reed, filling in and doing a very good job this year. I would also like to thank John Salter and Mitchell Hernandez and the Assessment and Taxation Department, and County Counsel, Doug Olson and Nick Moore, for giving their counsel and services, and also Crook County Clerk Cheryl Seeley, who helped with phone calls that I had and answering questions and helping me along since it was my first year of filling in. So with that, the summary. This year we received 22 petitions. One was withdrawn before the December 31st deadline and refiled. Another one was deemed defective by the board because the applicant or the petitioner did not have standing to bring forth a petition. Of that, we remained with this. Another 10 was withdrawn before the hearing of March 11th, and we did have two hearings, the initial convening one, February 11th, and the last one, March 11th, where the actual petitions were heard if they were not stipulated prior to the board meeting the second time. So 10 was withdrawn, 5 were stipulated prior to the second meeting, and 5 were actually heard by the board, with the 5 being real property and 1 being a hearing on basically, how was the term? Late filing. Yeah, the waiver of the late filing. Thank you. He's still continuing to help me. So with that, there was no changes when the board heard the 5 hearings or the 5 petitions. They were all sustained. And so there was no net change at the March 11th hearing.
Thank you. Thank the whole committee for all their work. Wishes of the commission.
I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-016. I do have one comment. I think that we also need to recognize Steve Cragen because he worked long and hard on this. Kind of something new for him. And
Working long and hard?
he worked long and hard. And making fun of me, I don't care. He something new for him, but you know what? You did a great job. So thank you. I made the motion.
Second.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Nice job, Steve.
Thank you.
Commissioners?
Fair ticketing contract, you want?
Yeah, I can present it. So, Nick Warner, County Council, standing in for Beth Wheeler here today. This before the commission's the contract with Hermiston High School for the volleyball team to do ticketing for the fair for the upcoming year. I think the total amount is $10,000.
I think this is wonderful. I do have a question to ask. Was this put out some way so that other clubs or groups could also provide this service? How did that
Absolutely.
work?
Reach out to several.
They did?
Oh, yeah. And including the prior, which was Rotary, and they just don't have the people to do it. It's tough to find any volunteer group with that many people.
Okay. The only reason I ask is because Wallowa does something like this also, but there's groups that, I mean, they fight over the opportunity to do this. So I just wanted to make sure this opportunity was given to others.
Yep.
Okay.
It sure was.
Okay, I move approval of Hermiston High School volleyball to provide ticketing staffing for the 2026 Umatilla County Fair. Payment is to be made in the amount of $8,000 with a $2,000 bonus if there is successful completion of all conditions being met within the signed agreement. Payment is to be made to Hermiston Volleyball ASB.
Second.
Then motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next one is a letter of support to the federal government to continue the SS4A program.
I'll stand before the commission on this one as well. This is a letter of support on behalf of Umatilla County supporting the Safe Streets for All program for additional funding going forward.
I move approval.
Second?
And a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. This doesn't have the signatures on it, the one here. Nope. We need to, if we can, get that sent back to Merch McIntyre as early as possible today. That one will need to have signature lines put on it. Okay. Thank you. Next on the agenda is banking service order update.
So with staffing changes at the finance office, as mentioned in the Pinky, employees authorized to perform banking services need to be updated. Jason Jensen needs to be added, as mentioned in the BCC order.
I move to adopt order BCC 2026-014.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Nick.
Okay.
Flexible savings account update.
This one, as best I understand, is an update to our flexible savings account for county employees. Jennifer's here to answer any questions, but my understanding is just an update to the plan itself.
I used the whole thing for the last 2 days, so. Yeah, maybe a brief description would be good.
Jennifer Blake, HR Director. So previously, we had a flexible spending account with, it used to be called Manley Administrative Services. Manley was then acquired by Pacific Source and was a secondary business line that Pacific Source had. They have since sold this portion of the line to PNC Benefit Plus. They've taken over they're seamless for our employees. There should be no lapse in coverage or interruption for staff. But this is now the new company that is providing administrative services for the flexible spending account for Umatilla County.
Thanks, Jennifer, and I apologize for all the.
Oh, you're.
I move to adopt resolution approving cafeteria plan and summary plan description and authorize chair to sign documents.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for everybody. Closing comments. Commissioner Simmons?
I did not have any.
No, I'm good.
I can't go without saying congratulations to Dan. The awards that was given to it, that was special. It was very, very special, and I'm glad that Jennifer got the pictures because I think that's probably worth going on the wall somewhere for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, we're adjourned.